Good morning. I'm Dr. Ernie Esquivel, and as part of my Stanford Healthcare Leadership course, I'm submitting this assignment. And I wanted to talk to you about Wayne's World. This is the journey of a patient and his doctor. So several years ago, I led a research study during which we asked medical students to call their patients 1 to 2 weeks after their discharge from the hospital. And we asked the medical students to ask their patients about their discharge diagnosis, how they were taking their medications, and did they understand what their medications were for. And we also asked them to find out if the patients actually went to their scheduled outpatient follow-up visit after the hospitalization. What we found was that upon discharge, several issues were encountered by vast majority of our patients. In fact, of the patients we contacted, only 21% of them had no issues with any of these parameters 1 to 2 weeks after discharge. 32% of patients did not understand the discharge diagnosis. 52% of patients had medication-related issues. And 49% of patients actually never went to their post-discharge follow-up visits. So as a hospitalist, I've been very bothered by these findings and wondered why we spent so much of our energy treating our patients in the hospital, and then upon discharge, leaving them to their post-discharge challenges. And I often wondered to myself what I could actually do differently to prevent these issues. So several years after that study, I admitted a patient in the hospital with decompensated heart failure. He came in, he was quite short of breath, clearly very volume overloaded, and it was very hard for him to lie flat or even walk around. His hospital course with my team lasted about 3 weeks, during which time we optimized his medication regimen, and he lost about 30 to 40 pounds of excess fluid weight. And that allowed Wayne to start walking around the hospital, and he was able to breathe without requiring excess oxygen, and he was able to sleep lying flat in bed. So he felt well. However, 2 days prior to his discharge from the hospital, he opted to enroll in a heart failure trial from one of our cardiology teams. And it presented a dilemma for me. They wanted him to change his diuretic regimen to a different pill than what he was getting in the hospital. This was not a medication that I was familiar with. And so one of my concerns was what would happen to Wayne and his heart failure upon being discharged from the hospital. I have to tell you that as a hospitalist, we often have very little follow-up with our patients. And this is some of my colleagues would think about this as actually an advantage to being in this particular field. So what I did was I said to Wayne, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. And what I'd like you to do is, here's your weight in the hospital, and here's your blood pressure today. And what I want you to do is when you go home, I want you to weigh yourself, and I want you to check your blood pressure. And I would like you to text me the following day. So lo and behold, a day later, Wayne texted me his blood pressure and his weight. He added that he was feeling well, he was breathing better. And I texted back, great job, keep it up. And he said, thanks, doc. To my surprise, he texted me again the following day with the same data. He said, I feel good. And I gave him a thumbs up. He thanked me. And I wasn't expecting that over the next week, he would text me on a daily basis his weight and his blood pressure. Over the course of that week and the weeks subsequently, he would also tell me that he started going outside and starting to walk. He would walk a block or 2 blocks, a mile. And what I would say to him is, good job. And Why don't you walk a little bit farther tomorrow? I noticed that he also was continuing to lose weight and he felt better, and he was sticking with his drug regimen. Wayne lived in a part of Brooklyn where there were no supermarkets where he could get healthy food. And he texted me one day and he said, Doc, I want to let you know that I've started driving to Long Island where I can get some healthier food. And I've been eating more healthily. And I'm really determined to continue to lose weight and to continue to feel well. And I encouraged him to do that. In fact, my conversation with Wayne on a daily basis continued for a period of about 9 months. I would give him a thumbs up. Some days I would say, great job. Some days I would say, awesome. So in fact, our conversations often did not require me to spend more than 10 seconds, 15 seconds to reply to him. There were occasional moments when he would say to me, oh, Doc, my cardiologist canceled my appointment. He doesn't want to see me for another 2 weeks. I'm struggling with this issue. What do you think I should do? So there were rare occasions when he would let me know that he was struggling with his maintaining his outpatient follow-up. And what was dramatic was that not only did we get him to lose weight during his hospitalization, but he also maintained or continued to lose weight over a period of nearly 6 months. In addition to that, he texted me in November of 2019, sometime in the early evening, and he said, can I give you a call? And he was so happy to give me a call, and he was crying on the phone because he had a repeat echocardiogram, which showed that his cardiac function had gone up from 25% to 55%, which was normal. He was profoundly thankful. When the pandemic hit in New York City in 2020, both he and I became overwhelmed with our lives, and we kind of lost touch with each other. The last time that I heard from him was about a year later. His wife had texted me to let me know that he had had a stroke, which was unfortunate. And I suggested to her to have him transferred to our hospital. What I learned from this experience with Wayne was that our healthcare system doesn't work to our patients, doesn't work to address our patients' needs. I've found that my job with Wayne went beyond just being his doctor, but being a doctor meant being a health advocate. How could I give him 10 seconds of each day to encourage him to do the things that he needed to do to stay healthy? I think that our model in healthcare, where I as a physician say, see you in 3 months' time, will never work to keep our patients well from their chronic illnesses. What we ought to be doing is finding ways to engage with our patients and empower them on a more frequent basis to be their guides, to be their advocates, so that rather than saying to them, see you in 3 months, we can have them feel that 3 months from now, you will thank yourself. And I, as a physician, will be there with you, engaging you in the things that you need to do each day to actually stay well. I think that our healthcare system could think more creatively about the ways in which we conceptualize what a healthcare professional means, especially in leveraging the technology that's available to allow our patients to actually stay well and achieve the goals that we have for them. So fundamentally, Wayne changed the way I view myself as a physician. And if it all requires for me is to give him a thumbs up each day when he's doing all the right things, I think that's something I'm willing to do.